Hello everyone, welcome to another sentence of the day, and here's the sentence.
最初から自分ができるものだけ選んでいたら何も始まらない。大事なのはお前が興味を抱いているかどうかだろ。
Okay, so actually it was two sentences, but anyway, let's get straight into it. So before we start, I want you to think about what the topic is and what the subject is in both of these sentences. So first of all, we're going to look at saisho kara, which means from the beginning, from the start. Saisho means first. If we break down the kanji, sai means most and sho means first. The biggest, the last, the worst, which is
最大、最悪、最後、最高。
kara means from. The opposite is made, which means until, to the extent. A simple example sentence, ekimae kara ie made aruiteiru. Jibun means oneself. It's different from watashi because it doesn't exclusively refer to I. It can refer to I or you or he or she or even one. Dekiru mono dake. So dekiru means can.
Mono means things or refers to stuff. So we can summarize this whole thing as the things one can do.
Dake means only. Then we have erande tara. Erabu means to choose, and that's where erande tara comes from. How do we get there? So actually, this form of erabu is a progressive form. So the progressive form is a repeated action that happens over time. So because it ends in bu, if a verb ends in bu or mu or nu, you replace the ending, the last hiragana on the verb, with a n sound, then add teiru. So we have erandeiru, which means choosing. Then we get rid of ru and add tara, which now means if. The next part is nanimo hajimaranai. Nanimo hajimaranai. So nanimo means nothing. So if we have like nanimo nai, nanimo arimasen, they mean nothing, have nothing.
And daremo enai means nobody there, no one is there.
Hajimaru means to start or commence, but hajimaru is different to hajimeru.
The difference is hajimaru means something starts, and hajimeru means that something is started by someone. Hajimaru is an automatic process. Hajimeru is a manual process. So in this situation, because we have nanimo hajimaranai, hajimaru is indicating automatic process, so nothing starts is what you could define it as, or no progress is made.
So in the next sentence we have kyomi o itadaiteiru kadoka daro. So kyomi o idaku means to have an interest, but with more power. Like
Idaku literally means to hug. So think about you just hugging something that you really, really, really have an interest in, which might be strange, but just imagine that, and that means you have a real interest in something.
to complement the persistence of choosing only what you can do, the idaku is also in a present progressive form and changes from idaku to idai. Then you add idaiteiru. Wait, ちょっと待って. Where did I come from in idai?
So, with the present progressive form, different verbs have different conjugations. Depending on the last hiragana at the end of the verb determines what the verb will change to when put in the present progressive form. So as you can see on the screen, there's a few charts and things to show you what you should change to what, depending on the ending, and basically use this for whenever you come across a verb and you need to know how to conjugate it. Refer to this graph to help you out. Hope that helps. So kadoka means whether or not, and daro, now it really determines on the intonation. Daro, if it goes up, it's probably mean right, whereas if it was straight, daro means that this fact is more definite.
が興味を抱いているかどうかだろ。
大事なのは、大事 means important and not is an abstract way of referring to a thing. So you could also say 大事なこと because こと also refers to a thing. But why is the na there? So there are two different types of adjectives, na adjectives and e adjectives. E adjectives end with e. Na adjectives don't. Because they don't, when connecting to a noun with a na adjective, you should connect it with na. So for example, utsukushii koto. There's a hiragana i at the end of utsukushii, so this makes sense. Daiji does not have an i hiragana at the end, so it needs a na. So daiji koto would be wrong. Daiji na koto or daiji nano is correct. However, there's an exception. Kirei.
Kirei is a fushigi na koto, and the kanji is a kawaii koto.
Because it's spelt with this kanji, there is no hiragana i hanging off the end of that spelling. The e is part of the kanji, so it would be spelled kirei na koto. So that's important. Okay, so that was a lot of stuff, and oh yeah, there's also omae as in
お前はもう死んでいる。
so that doesn't need explanation. But be careful with using omae in real life. It can seem a bit too casual. Now, I asked you a question at the beginning. What is the topic and what is the subject? I mean, what's the difference between the both? The topic is what the entire discussion is about. The subject is the focus within that discussion. So in Japanese, wa is the particle that describes a topic. Ga describes the subject within the topic, the focus in the topic. So, the jibun and omae are the focus, while the discussion is about this daiji nano wa. So, iori is referred to as jibun ga, omae ga, and is being told about the daiji nano, which is the main topic, what the topic of this little dialogue is about. So, I hope this helped. I should also mention that ra and wa have a myriad of different uses. So, this is not as simple as it is. It's very much about how ga and wa feels in a certain moment. But to help you out, there's a tofugu link in the description, which really explains the differences really well, so you can really understand these two particles. Also, there's a link in the description to join our Discord server, where there's a new sentence every day for you to try and solve, and more fun stuff as well. So, okay, thank you for watching, and let's watch this final clip with the subtitles.
最初から自分ができるものだけ選んでいたら何も始まらない。大事なのはお前が興味を抱いているかどうかだろ。